meeting will be what?
To explain why we are doing what we are doing. This is not to do or not to do. No.
So you heard him. This is not to do or not to do. It's a matter of they doing it. Whether we like it or not, they are going ahead to compile a new voters register for the 2020 elections. That was the EC's director of elections talking there. But after he spoke, Sami Jemfi, who is the National Communications Officer, also of the NDC, had a few things to say. He says, well, they have so many avenues they will be exploring. They intend to demonstrate, they intend to, go to court if the need arise, or maybe just picket at the EC's office. Take a listen to him.
The EC must be ready for more protest actions across the country. The Accra demonstration will come off on a date which will be announced. We will occupy their office. We will exercise our constitutional rights to protest against this rape of the public purse and this attempt to undermine our electoral system. We are also contemplating a legal action. Our lawyers are currently considering that option very strongly.
All right, so that was Sami Jemfi there. He is the National Communications Officer of the NDC, adding his voice to what they make of the decision by the EC to go ahead and compile a new voters register no matter what. Now, some have said that they're surprised. Some, like the CSOs who say that they are surprised, at the fact that the EC still intends to go ahead, although the Eminent Advisory Committee has asked the EC to do some more consultations with some of these parties. That is our conversation on the diary this afternoon. What I'm asking you is this. Many people have taken entrenched positions. Now, looking at the fact that the EC wants to go ahead to compile a new voters register and, of course, get a new equipment for the 2020 elections, what do you make of the EC's decision? The right decision, wrong decision? Because many have said that if we're not too careful, we might land this country into chaos. Something you and I, I'm sure, wouldn't want to have. So what do you make of the decision by the EC to go ahead and compile a new voters register? You agree or you don't agree? Well, they have the mandate to do, but I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. Now, to join the conversation and to help this conversation this afternoon is Frank Abuaji Dinyansa. Now, he is a public interest advocate. He's right here with me in the studios of Love 99.5. Frank, good afternoon to you. Yeah, good afternoon. And I didn't hear you earlier on, so let me say again, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, David.
All right, so now your voice can be heard. Yeah. And you were a part of the demonstration on Tuesday, the Yempini demonstration. Now, let me just ask you this. How would you describe the demonstration? How did it go for you?
Thank you very much. Let me greet your listeners once again. And to come to your question, Dave, I think that even if it was one person, okay, who had shown or who is a stakeholder of this upcoming elections, be it a political party or an individual or an independent candidate, who had raised questions about the credibility of the register that we would want to use, I think it's legitimate. And for that matter, we will thank the people of Asanteman for coming in their numbers. If you have seen the drone video, David, Asafo Interchange was fully occupied. Looking at the numbers that came, I was shocked. Well, we knew that obviously this is a stronghold of a certain political party, and they resist the resistance as to manipulations to stop us from demonstrating. Even late in the night, I think it started from when we met the regional police command, when we heard that a certain group also said they would also demonstrate on the same day. And would give thumbs up to the regional police commander Ampofuduku for giving us that mandate to do the demonstration. And Dave, you know that it's on record. Nothing bad happened during this demonstration. And that is what I would thank the team for, because the leaders comported themselves, the followers comported themselves, and it was a success. And we hope that our grievances will be heard, because we petitioned Otumfuo Osei-Tutu, who has always been a mediator with, during election periods, and he has said it on record that he even had to talk to certain presidential candidates to concede defeat. And we know what the power of the Asante Kingdom holds, and that Otumfuo, who has received our petition, called for calm and said that deliberations will be ongoing. And that is what we expect the EC to do. David, let those who don't agree with us take their time and listen to me this afternoon. I am here to give them a good service, to tell them the reason why we are disputing of a register. Anybody with a political lens should remove it and listen to what we have put down.
Studios of Love 99.5 to also add his voice to this very conversation. Kwesi, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
What is happening? All right, so let me try one more time. Kwesi, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Dave.
And Traz, all is well?
All is well.
The Friday is going fine for you.
It's been fine so far.
All right. Now, where do you stand on this conversation? First of all, are you surprised at the decision by the EC to go ahead anyway to compile this new voters register, although they've been, advised, or a suggestion has been made to them by the eminent advisory committee to, do some more consultations and discussions? Are you surprised that they have decided to go ahead and have even come out with a date for compiling of a new voters register? They say 18th of April to the 30th of May. Surprised?
Dave, let me say a very good afternoon to our cherished listeners and viewers on Facebook and various platforms. The stance by the EC, if you say I'm surprised, I wouldn't say so. The reason being that it's their duty to compile a register, organize elections, declare results, and possibly give it to the appropriate authorities for them to swear them in. If they are to do that, they must have that register. However, maybe a choice of word that was being used probably is why you might have said, my surprise, that we'll do it anyway. It's a done deal. Probably because it comes on the backdrop of when they were being asked that they should do broader consultation. But Dave, what surprises me most is that...
So you're surprised in a way?
No.
You said what surprises you most?
Yes.
So in a way you're surprised?
Not surprised.
Okay.
The reason is that I wanted to build a point on that. What surprises me most is that whatever the case is, we would obviously go to our polling stations back, either to check on our names, to make sure that our names are in, that we can be verified come the election day. And during the consultation process, as we all would want to have it, what exactly would be the point and the deadline for us to finish with the consultations for everybody to be satisfied before the EC can go ahead compiling a new register or not? In the course of that, they ought to work. They have to work. Because they have to have a register, they have to have a deadline, they have a schedule for us to run the elections. So no matter what it takes, I believe they would go ahead. The reason being that if we lag behind and we are not able to have a register that the EC says is credible
or fit for purpose,
our elections might be in jeopardy.
Okay, so before I go back to Frank,
yes,
do you see anything wrong with the decision by the EC to still go ahead and compile a new voters register despite the fact that they've been asked to have consultations?
Oh, they haven't said they aren't going to have consultations.
No, but what it is saying, if you listen to Dr. Sribo Kweku,
yes,
what he's saying is that they're not going to have that consultation.
Whether to do or not to do.
Case in biometrically. So it means that if you are not there in person, no one can vote for you. Now, the EC was given ample time.
But there are times when if the machine is faulty, you are verified manually.
That statement by Dr. Farijan at that time was because during the election, the EC had not taken a stance on, after we all mentioned that no verification, no vote, some EC officials at certain polling stations allowed themselves to, whether be compromised or whatever, allowed people who were not verified to vote. Does that make the register wrong?
No, but what I'm asking is this. We're talking about the equipment failing at one point in time, which of course is one of the...
That's what I'm saying, that it was not picking people's stamp.
Yes.
And for that matter, they brought in that facial verification, which clearly, from 92, we used to use black and white. Now we upgraded it and we're using colored voters' IDs.
The recent district level elections, were people verified manually?
We didn't hear that.
We heard it.
For me, I didn't hear that.
Well, I heard some, but go ahead. I heard it.
Their terms were not picked?
Yes, and then they were verified manually.
But was that wrong?
Well, it's not wrong.
Because they have their faces on their voters' ID. Yes. Good. So the EC has failed to show that he can meet timelines when they fail to even implement ROPAL today, as we sit here. People or Ghanaian citizens outside can't vote.
But they will be voting the
same. No, but have they been able to do it?
According to
no, they have not. Dave, you see, we are talking facts. Can my dad, who is in the US, vote yes or no?
They said this year yes.
No, they say they. Currently, can they vote? No.
But this year they will.
No. So now the register we are talking about is the one there now. Now the one there, ROPAL is not in existence. Accepted.
Yes.
Let's go for it. The next one. Can anyone, any Ghanaian who attains the age of 18 before an election date or an election year enter any EC office and register and get a card? Dave, answer the question for me, yes or no?
Well, I don't want to answer any questions. I just want to go because
if the electoral commission office is not closed after elections and it's widely opened, Why should we wait till latter part before people who attain the age of 18 can register? Meaning that continuous registration has not been implemented successfully. And for that matter, the EC themselves have a problem in that line. In UK, as soon as you are 18 years, the political parties send you text messages congratulating you on your 18th birthday, telling you that welcome to the game. Now this is our policy. We know you are 18 years and that we believe that we want to sell our ideas to you. So everybody has that register in the system. But in Ghana,
I don't want to come in.
I'm coming. So I'm giving you the facts. So in Ghana, that is not in existence. Dave,
because we didn't have a national ID.
Oh no. I mean, the EC over the years could have set up the Supreme Court ruling from 2012. Justice Akuetteh told them in their face to go and do reforms in their register. Your failure not to do the right thing cannot compromise Ghana election. So from 2012 to date, what were they doing? After 2016 elections, they couldn't compile register till 2020. The same year, you want us to go stick our neck out and do a new register. Let me come to the argument. We have tried and tested this already existing register. Why do you want us to go for a new one that has not been tried and tested? Don't you think that a failure of that register, the new one, is irreparable? Don't you think so? But we have had ones with track record. What is the EC's fear? Why would they want to still compromise and do what they feel that they can do? They should listen to the other parties who are complaining. And that has been our argument all this while. The machines can be upgraded from whatever version to a newer version, but the system, the data that we still have, the one that you went to the police station to write your name, your parents' name, your date of birth, where you live, all those data are with the Electoral Commission. Why do they want us to throw that document away and compile a whole new one? Why? What is their fear? Is anyone preventing minors, people who are 18 years from registering? No. But we are saying that when you open it that wide, for us to go and start afresh, the possibility of people intruding is higher than the one we currently have. So the EC is not justifying anything to us. We have argued our point that whatever they are saying is an entrenched position, and they feel that because they have been mandated by law to do their independent job, for that matter, the current government is backing them and they would want to do what they want. No. And that is why Sami Jenfi was saying that to an extreme, after demonstrations, they might even decide to picket the EC. It is all to draw the attention that we are not satisfied with their decision. And the advice that the eminent committee who advises the EC told them was to come and deliberate with us. Dave, as I sit here, ask me, has the EC written to us to come for deliberation? No. Why are they going ahead to implement what they said they will do? That is not fair. And what we want is a free, fair, and credible electoral commission. They should listen to us, and that has been our plea all this while.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay, so they should listen to you, and that's what you want done. And listeners, this is Love 99.5, and of course, you're listening to The Diary. It's a Friday afternoon. We get to talk about issues like this. Now, the EC has decided to go ahead to compile a new voters register and, of course, gather a new equipment for the 2020 elections. What the EC intends to do is to start registration from the 18th of April, and they intend to end it on the 30th of May. That is this year. And some, like, you had Frank Abaji Dinyasa say, and of course, you had Akuetteh Kwenedu also say a while ago, time is of essence here, and that is a concern that the inter-party resistance against the new voters register have raised concerns on. Now, Frank, help me understand this, and we'll come back to some of the things you've raised though. But one thing you mentioned was fear. What is the EC afraid of? Let me ask you this other question: What is your group also afraid of? Because, like we all know, it is a mandate of the Electoral Commission to compile, to conduct a free, fair, transparent elections for us all.
Yeah.
Now, they have come up and they have told us that whatever it is that they have presently is not fit for purpose. What are you guys afraid of? Because, again, you've raised the issue. Hold on. You've raised the issue of money, that is waste of taxpayers' money. You've raised issues of time, that is not conducive, they cannot be able to put it together and all that. But if
we have raised an issue of it being credible because it has been cleansed over a period. So we have trust in that register than a new one.
Okay, I hear you. But the EC, who has the power and the mandate, who sees what is on their data, what they have on their table, is telling you that this is not, fit for purpose. What are you guys afraid of? If indeed we can compile a new voters register, get a new equipment, and it will ensure that we have a credible election in 2020 December, why wouldn't you give the EC the support?
Dave, I said it, and when I was making my delivery, I mentioned that the EC gave 2 reasons. One, they said that it will cost the nation more if they are to upgrade. And for that matter, to them, they are saving the nation money. So we should do a new one. And we are saying that we are for the upgrade. Other than that, stop it. What is their fear? You asked me that question. Why I'm also asking you one. Why are they not listening
do you also have
to that of the upgrade? Because if we have been able to cough out money to do a new one, topping up to upgrade is not a problem.
All right, so Akuetteh, you listened carefully to Frank, didn't you?
Dave, I did.
The things he enumerated, has he been able to convince you? Because that's one of the things he said. He said we should take away all the political lenses and caps that we are wearing and listen to their concern. Because to them, the register we have now is credible and is fit for purpose. All we need to do is just upgrade it. What do you make of what he just said?
Dave, thanks. You see, the last question that you asked was about fear. What is your fear? Is it about the fear of the money or the fear of a new register? When you are talking in terms of the money and the EC says they are saving us money, why wouldn't they support the EC to save us money? Because at the end of the day, they will go about telling every single person that, you see, we need to be able to have our roads being tarred, we need to have more schools, we need to have that, and that will cost us money. So if the EC, by all the financial calculations that they've done, are telling us, and yes, we are convinced of it, he is, because you see, when when Frank was talking, he talked about whilst we top up with the new machines to upgrade. Look, we have machines that have been in existence from 2011, and we are in 2020, 9 years down the line. If you would want to upgrade these machines onto the new ones, I mean, we need to have batteries for them. They need to have screens for them. They enumerated some challenges with the DVB machines and the DVRs, that is the registration kits. You see, we are going to do new registrations. Currently, they said we should upgrade. That means we should take the data from the old register, where we have the fingerprints and the rest, take everything and move them onto new softwares. Or, Dave, if you use an iPhone, and for those that uses an iPhone, currently iPhone is operating on the iOS 13.3. If you have an iPhone that is iPhone 6, you cannot upgrade to the new iOS. Totally, you are shut off. So you'll be on the iOS 12. It means you cannot. So assuming we are moving from a new operating system, even for the same machines and from the same developer, it obviously tells you and I that there's a possibility that we cannot even upgrade these machines onto a 2020 platform from the same people. And 2, if you'd remember the EC in making the analysis and saying why we need to have a new register. You see, we are doing all of these things, and I'm saying all of these things on the backdrop that we do not want to end up with another disputed elections based on the basis that people were not verified and they voted. There were some pink sheets that were never signed. There were some areas that polling stations do not exist, and those ones. And I believe that this should be at the back burner of every discussion that we are having. If the Electoral Commission, we talk about a tried and tested register. We obviously had tried and tested registers from 1992 when we started voting in this country. But we obviously changed them because times changed. We are in a new time. The EC is giving us all of these reasons. And I always say, why are we resisting a new register that can give us a credibility, but we are insisting on having an old register that has even led us to an election dispute before?
But again, the EC themselves have said that this register we have is kind of okay. Along the line, they've mentioned that. But the only challenge we have is with the the machines, equipment that can sometimes fail and disappoint.
Yeah.
So if indeed like Frank has said, we have worked on this register for some time, and there's a bit of credibility in there, why don't we simply just do an upgrade? Because see, the EC themselves will tell you that anytime you want to do a registration, compile a new voters register, the political parties will bring people who sometimes are not Ghanaians, are below their age. They will come and then they will bloat the register for us. So if with time we've been able to clean it somewhat, an upgrade is a better option, isn't it?
Dave, in that sense, from the last sentence that you made, it obviously then also would mean to somebody listening or myself that is it that the time they see is too short for the registration, and that they cannot then bring that same individuals that the EC says they come to bloat the register. That is why some people are resisting. No. The credibility of these registers has always been with elections that have been conducted by the Electoral Commission, but not necessarily only the register. If you see the last elections, the District Assembly elections of December 17 that we had, the Electoral Commission said it was credible. They had to do a limited registration, which they projected to have about 700. They ended up having 1.2 million. The credibility was with the election and not necessarily with the register that they had. So that is what they had at that time. So you obviously cannot go outside of that to have it. We are projecting to have 700. They had 1.2. Already the register they believe is bloated by over 1 million votes.
And if it's bloated, the argument is that if there are dead people in there,
yes,
they will tell you dead people don't vote.
They don't.
They will not come with the terms because they have to be verified biometrically before they can whatever go ahead to vote.
Yes.
Again, people who register who were underage.
Yes.
By now they might have chalked the age of 18 and are eligible to vote anyway.
Yes.
So what is the big deal?
The big deal is that, you see, for people to have confidence in an election, even turnout counts. Assuming you have 10 individuals in a register and about 6 of them or 4 of them are dead, so alive will be 6. Say we have 4 dead, alive will be 6. 6 over 10 would obviously give you a 60%. But however, 6 over 6 will give you 100%. We are now having an argument that would then tell us that we have 4 individuals in the register who are dead, about 2 individuals in the register who are minors. So now if you take all these individuals out, wouldn't we have 4 to have a credible and a somewhat election that people have confidence in, that people participated?
And then the argument again is on a daily basis people die.
Of course.
Okay, on a daily basis people die. So what is the essence of saying that, well, let's do a new one? Because after it's done, somebody will die anyway.
But over a period, the number of death accumulation will be greater than that. And that whilst you compile and add on to and leave the dead in the register, the figure, the base figure continues to soar. So if over a period, we cannot clean it. And
it is something that updating would not help fix.
You see, the updating is not necessarily with the names, but also with the machines itself.
Well,
yes, it's also with the machines itself. If you cannot have parts for the machines, we need almost about 32,000 machines with a backup of it. Now they claim to have almost about 28,000 of them working. Now they need over 8,000 DVRs to register. They have 1,200 working, and these are all old stocks. We need to replace them.
Frank,
Dave, our IT experts, who are also learned, who advised us and keep advising us, are saying that these. Don't forget, we have a team of experts who even know where these machines are manufactured. What is the EC telling us? The arguments are weak. The only thing they want to add to the machine is facial verification. And we have argued that that system does not need throwing away the whole data and getting a new one. And that is why we keep asking, why is the EC taking an entrenched position? What you are telling us is in the open market. And like you mentioned, people die every day. Those ones have been in the US. It happens. Our system, our Ghanaian system, where a 60-year-old can go for a birth certificate, is the one killing us. But the failure of that system should not cost me in an election. And you and I know that on a daily basis, people change their names. Do you know why some people are complaining about the Ghana card, that they've not received their card? They have forgotten that the name and age on their passport is different from the name and age on their driving license. And so when these people take all the cards and synchronize it into one, and they realize that we have done some changes, you are called Kwame Atta somewhere, and the date of birth does not correspond with the one you have on another ID card, the card will not come.
All right.
So Dave, the EC has work to do. And like you keep saying, we are all stakeholders. They cannot, on record, Dave, take an entrenched position. Never.
Already they have decided to go ahead.
They can't.
They have come out
Trust
with
me now, Dave.
I'll come to
we have enjoyed, like Sami was saying, we have our lawyers ready.
Don't
we know why
I'll come to
we
you
are not going to court now.
I'll come to you on
we
that.
want to give them
Frank,
the time
hold on. I'll come to you
change their mindset.
Hold on.
And trust me, Dave, I'm coming. The EC office, as it stands, has issues with trust. Don't forget,
some of us petitioned the president against the utterances of Dr. Bosman Asare. Today, as we sit here, nothing has been done. And you are telling me I should trust that man who sat on radio and lambasted a particular political party.
All right, so but
how can the referee ask this way?
We'll talk about those issues you had, concerns you have. But because listen, it's not just about some parties in opposition who are saying that, well, they are not for a new voters register, and so therefore people can say, oh, they're doing politics with it. But we have some, civil society organizations who themselves they number 18 and more.
18 and more, yeah.
And they also say that, listen, they gave the EC an opportunity to convince them. And if you listen to the midday news this afternoon, they say when they met with the EC, they were not convinced. So if the EC has a case, how come political parties or some political parties are against the decision to compile a new voters register, and then you have 18 and more CSOs who are also against it? Why can't the EC just convince people for it to sink in easily that, listen, there's a need for a new compilation of a register?
Dave, you see, I first started by saying that if you have a question in mind and the answer is not coming as the answer that you want, you would obviously think you've not been answered. The fact that about 18 CSOs or more are joining the call that there should be a halt of the new voters register, that's not necessarily. And you see, convincing a person is where the person has a mindset or an entrenched position. If the person comes with an open mind,
so why would they go there? I mean, I'm sure that they had an open mind, and that's how come they attended that very meeting.
I wouldn't say they went there closed with a mind, but however, you see, it was on the backdrop of certain agitations that have been done. So they went in there. You see, the last time somebody talked about it, not having a sort of security implication and the rest. You see, when we are moving into an election year and there is heightened insecurity or tension in terms of security purposes, everybody would want to say, oh, okay, Ajubro, as we will say in Tree, let it be like that. But for how long would we continuously sit for agitations so that everybody will say, oh, let's sit like that, let's leave it like that, let's take it as it is? And for all of these periods, let's take it as it is, as taking us to where we are. That even the Electoral Commission by itself cannot even take a decision for us to believe in. My brother Frank just said that there's a certain level of mistrust.
Yes.
Maybe it never started now. It's been there ever since we had an election.
Yeah.
But maybe because of the numbers and the sort of discourses that we are having now, it's been increased because now we have widespread media that we talk about some of all these things. But don't you believe that it is a duty on you and I for us to give the EC that level of trust, for us to make sure that they can do the
trust
job?
Is end. You agree?
Yes, it's end.
It is end.
It's end.
So if you look at proceedings, you ask yourself, are they doing things that will end them the trust that they are looking for, or that we all will look for?
But Dave, in Akan, we say some sort of an adage that says at the end of the day, if the EC is to end the trust and end up with an election that is highly disputed, that is highly not convincing, what will be the trust that they've earned as against the sort of an election results or an election process or an election credibility that the system cannot hold?
Would it have been wrong, having had a meeting with the Eminent Advisory Committee, and haven't seen the concerns and agitations of some political parties who are against the compilation of a new voters register? And of course, when the Eminent Advisory Committee said, let's meet with the political parties at an IPAC meeting, have deliberations or consultations, what would have been wrong if the EC have decided to, hold on? Because when they completed their demonstration on Tuesday, one of the things they decided to do was to suspend their series of demonstrations, just to have good faith, and then go into a meeting with an open mind and have a discussion. Now, in as much as they have suspended their demonstration, hoping that there will be some consultations and discussions in the meeting, they come in and announce a time for the beginning of the registration. Now they are saying that they're going back on the streets and they're going to communicate dates soon and all that. Is that a way to build trust?
I'll say yes and no. But however, Dave, I think on the backdrop of the EC issuing that notice that on come 18 they will be starting with the new register, I'm not quite sure that the Eminent Committee may have had an issue with it, because I'm sure they might have done certain consultations with them. But however, if
you haven't met with the stakeholders involved, if you have not gotten their buy-in and you decide to go ahead, they are resisting this. And then instead of discussing issues with them, for them to understand, buy into what you're trying to put across, You just decide to go ahead and say you're compiling a new voters register. You come out with the date. What are you telling them?
But if you see,
you're building bad faith, and that is one of the statements that was captured in a press release, a statement that these people have released, signed by
Bernard
Mona, chairman for the PNC. Bad faith.
Dave, you see, we are talking about timelines here, and we see, regardless of the bad faith argument that we put across, let us also not forget that we have an election to conduct this year, and it is bound by timelines. Even the CIs that we have normally used for elections give certain timelines. Even, for instance, you cannot create a polling station 42 days or so to an election and the rest. And all of these things are important. With an increasing population that we are having and congestion in some of these polling stations and the rest, it obviously tells you and I that the Electoral Commission will be creating more polling stations. All of these things must sink into what they are doing. You see, taking along the route. And these things happened from last year. It is not just out of the blue that all of these processes started. So Dave, the buy-in is important, because when you do stakeholder analysis, it talks about high power, high responsibility, high authority, and the rest. And all of these things, you ought to incorporate them. I'm quite sure that the argument must stretch for us to build faith, to build buy-in, and all those ones. When people have already taken a certain entrenched position, I am not quite sure, Dave. I am not quite sure. Where we are now, those against a new voters register will forever back down on that and accept, okay, let us go ahead with a new register. What if you go along? And then we will then be having the old register sitting there, whilst we cannot even go to do the upgrade that they are requesting for. Or are they also trying to tell us, whilst the consultations are going on, we should be having the upgrade of the old register, such that if the consultations don't go along well, we then fall back on that, having a new register. Or we can also go ahead, compile a new register, the process of compiling a new register, have the consultation, then thereafter, if the consultations and the buy-ins don't go well, we still have a good new register to go.
Well, I have heard some lawyers, say that according to the Constitution of Ghana, you cannot be compiling new voters register periodically. It's supposed to be once, and then you update it. And of course, Kofi Bentel even somewhat touched on it this afternoon during the midday news. I've heard another female lawyer, Kaseti, also, mentioning it. And so these are all concerns, so that if they decide to go to court, for example, and it is true, they might have a case. But so, Frank, you and your members have now decided to go back on your promise to Ghanaians and the Eminent Advisory Committee to give a 1 week break. You intend now to go back on the streets to demonstrate.
Exactly.
What do you think this is going to achieve? Because, Frank, to be sincere, the first demonstration was held up north in Tamale. Mm-hmm. And then you held one on Tuesday here in Kumasi. Mm-hmm. You suspended the one in Accra.
Yeah.
Now, the two, the two demonstrations you've held so far hasn't changed the stands and the minds of the EC. What shows that subsequent demonstrations will change their mind anyway?
Dave, we have 16 regions in this country, and we are done with 2. Why do you think that their stance can't change even as we sit here? It is possible. You see, when somebody wants to tie you down and the person is not listening, and you keep doing the right thing, now what we are doing is right within the law.
And what they do is right within the law?
Well, and we have argued our points out. We have told them that in the worst case scenario, the upgrade is best, no matter the cost. They can defend by telling us that one is costing, they are saving money. Have we told you to save us money? We want the piece of it.
But you have also raised concerns about the money.
And that is what I'm saying, that the worst case
is the worst.
So I mentioned that the worst case, we said that it is not important because the register has already been cleansed. But the worst case they can do is to do the upgrade, which we were for it. We never disputed that we never wanted the upgrade. Nobody said that. It was when we raised that issue of the upgrade and they came back shifting the goalpost to the cost that they are saving us money.
Frank,
so we feel that they have to listen to us because we are stakeholders.
Frank, if on the D-Day of elections,
don't ask me if they don't do it, what will happen.
No, if they don't
decide not to do it, what will happen.
No, it's not about what will happen.
No, if they go ahead to do it, what will happen? I also ask them that I've heard this question 1,000 times.
Forget about those people. I'm asking a different question. No, I'm asking a different question. If on the day of elections, Frank, let's say they heed to the pressure you guys are giving to them, and we want to use the same voters register.
No, they don't say pressure. You see, you make the other side.
That's what it is.
No, you make the other side.
That is pressure.
Those who are backing them think that then we also resist, and that if EC could face their pressure, we're not. No.
Is it not?
It's a deliberation we are calling for. That they are not. It's like going to your dad for some money for something.
But I will not hit the streets. No, I will not hit the streets and make noise and.
By no ways, kids demonstrate in the house.
I will not throw.
No, by no ways you demonstrate. When food is there, you say you decide not to eat.
Let me ask my question.
And your dad feels that you are worried.
Let me ask my question.
To engage.
Let me ask my question anyway.
Okay.
So on election day, let's say right now you don't want me to use the word, but let me use it. Just indulge me. The pressure that you guys are mounting on the EC. Let's say they agree and then they give up and they say let's use the current voters register we have plus the equipment. And on the 7th of December during the election, something happens in some areas where the machine is failing and there are challenges. What would you then say?
Dave.
Because they've told you that there are problems. They have foreseen problems. They want to avert it. So you are saying, no. So they decide to go ahead anyway. If on the D-Day, the equipment fail, if the equipment fail and the
equipment machines are machines. And the EC cannot even tell us or tell themselves that the new register they are going to do will not give any problem. They can't. We are talking about machines. And you and I know that our argument has been that we have, with this register we have crossed these stages you are talking about. We've had instances batteries are not charging, and we've had that over the years, but we are here. 2 elections. With all these issues you are talking about.
Even the NIA registration, the mass registration that took place, there are some places that machines failed them because they were telling network problems.
We raise those arguments, and the EC is telling us they have more men than the NIA. Haven't you heard that? They said they have more men than the NIA, and that's a non-starter. So we haven't not even, this and your argument is fresh. You can argue with the EC. But our stand is that they can't guarantee us the new register will not create any problem. Because it is a machine. And machines fail at any time. What we are saying that we have had a tried and tested document already. That is the data they have.
The register.
That is tried and tested. That has stood the test of time. We have argued and gone to court, like my brother mentioned, on that same register. And we are using it. Why don't we upgrade that register? Because it has stood that test of time. And we believe and trust in that register than a new one that has not been tested before. And that when there's a problem with that new register, it is irreparable.
So you start demonstrating. Have you guys come out with the date?
No, a new date will come.
It has not been communicated yet.
No.
Okay, so
we just released yesterday.
Okay, so aside from demonstration, what else are the plans? We hear that what you want to, you might.
Yeah, the last resort will be the court. Yeah, that will be the last resort. After we have exhausted all the rights that we have, which is the demonstrations in all the regions. Don't forget, we petitioned Otunfo. There are so many eminent chiefs in this country who are
about having a discussion, but they just want to clear your minds that listen, we're going ahead with it.
Have you heard Dr. Sribo Kweku say that the new one that they want to do, which you are calling a new register, is just an add-on of a facial verification? Have you heard that? Have you heard that?
On Newsfile, yes.
Have you heard that?
Yes.
And for that matter, the old data will not be compromised. They will still use those ones. Have you heard that? Is that an upgrade or a new register? Dave, let's be careful the way we say these things. So they see themselves now, they are confused. The man had been speaking on your network on Kesbin FM about 3 days ago in Keys, telling us that the only thing they are going to add on is the facial. And for that matter, those questions.
That is say that they're not going to compile any fresh, fingerprints.
And he said that those data that they have, you just have to walk to the station with your ID card, because they already have your data. It is the new one of a facial verification that they will add. Is that an upgrade or a new register? So they should come clear, and that is why we are calling for these deliberations. That they should not think that these people are coming from an island that is not existence in Ghana. No, we are all Ghanaians. We believe in democracy. We believe that they should listen to us and let the elections be free and fair. And we believe that we trust in an already existing register that has given us exactly
and has
than a new register that we can't trust because we don't know the problems that will come up from it.
Because when we hear statements like, well, chaos, or words like chaos, do you think
no, I think we've not in all our deliberations, we've not used.
Well, that is you. But
so
I have heard. I'm not saying
that our team was using chaos.
No. I have heard the National Communications officer of the NDC, for example, use the word chaos.
But if they don't do the chaos,
no. He says that they are, from the way things are, if we are not careful, there might be chaos and all that.
Exactly.
That's what chaos is. It's not about the picketing cry issue. What I'm asking is, do you think that we will have a very peaceful election in 2020? Looking at all that is happening.
We would have. But you see, let me just say one thing. One key component of the whole register is the fingerprint. One very key component. Now, even in the old one, is the fingerprint, which we have from 2011. You see, and constant use of all of these things, and with technology. And you see, the upgrade we should not necessarily limit it with the soft data.
When you say, are you talking about upgrade or a new voters register? Because again,
you see, when they talk about an upgrade, that is what I'm saying. They should not limit it with the soft data that we have, because we are talking about two things. Even if we have the data on pen drives, on what machines are we going to do? And you know that now they keep updating these DVBs with pen drives. You know that is what they do. They put the data on pen drives, then upgrade these machines. And you know one of the possibilities of upgrading data with these pen drives, you can have multiple.
Oh, but these guys are experts and they should know what they are about.
Do you know that the Electoral Commission, IT,
in fact, they should be able to do a great job.
Good. The Electoral Commission itself, the IT department of the Electoral Commission, is not capable of handling these equipment and these register that we have. They've said it countless numbers of times, and nobody has disputed that. When the EC said that those manufacturers of these machines are not manufacturing these machines again, and it will be hard for them to have parts for it, nobody has disputed it. So where are they supposed to have the part to upgrade these machines?
Well, let's take a break. We'll be back. And the conversation is centered on the EC. They've decided to go ahead to compile a new voters register. Frank Abaji-Dinyanza is on the panel. Akuetteh Kunedu is also on the panel. Frank says he's wondering what exactly the EC wants to go ahead to do, whether they're compiling a new voters register or is an upgrade. But the information is that the EC has set a date. That is the 18th of April to the 30th of May to compile a new voters register. And of course,
think the headline is misleading. We need to ask them. I think the headline is misleading.
They said a new voters.
Yeah, they said new.
If you have new data,
in his utterance, like he said, he said new. We are going to add on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know whether upgrade.
So are we going to write? And that is what we don't want. Right?
New machines
everything again
and everything, because the machines are going to be new.
We'll be right.
And when we return,
the machines, not the
return, we'll activate the phone lines and get to hear from you. Are you concerned about the entrenched position taken by the EC, because the EC says they're going ahead anyway to compile a new voters register? Now, after the phone-in segment, we're bringing to you another conversation right here on Love 99.5. You know that on the 1st of February, we are converging to walk to stay healthy in the year 2020. We shall be bringing to you a conversation on the fitness walk. But for now, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Please. Go carry the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please. Let's ready with the script. Can we share it walk out the whole boy? The one carry the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please wait. Let's ready with the script. Let's ready with the script. Please. Let's ready with the script so that we take it. It's a music. Please. Go carry the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please. Let's ready with the script. Can we share it walk out the whole boy? straight, please. Kindly let's finish with the stretch so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a please. Don't sign the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please. Let's finish with the stretch. Can you be saying to us the whole going? Oh,
1, 2. The Municipal Chief Executive for Oforikrom Municipal Assembly. The Assembly is a proud partner to the Love FM AFSA Walk, scheduled for 1st February 2020. This walk is very, very important and necessary because during the Christmas season, we ate a lot, drank a lot, chew a lot of fat into the system, and for that matter, we need to walk and burn some of the calories. I am coming, and I want everybody to join this exercise. I am also inviting everybody within the Kumasi metropolis, especially the people living within the municipality of Oforikrom precisely, to come and burn some of the fats. I will be there, and I want you to be there. I am Gloria Tema Etiahime Gambra, the Municipal Chief Executive for Oforikrom Municipal Assembly. The Assembly is a proud partner to the Love FM AFSA Walk, scheduled for 1st February 2020. This walk is very, very important and necessary because during the Christmas season, we ate a lot, drank a lot, chew a lot of fat into the system, and for that matter, we need to walk and burn some of the calories. I am coming, and I want
his or her stand. Is it the EC or the political parties that form this inter-party resistance against a new voters register? Who should soften their stance? Because in all things, we need to put Ghana first. Well, this is the diary. It's on Love 99.5, and our conversation this afternoon has to do with the information that has come from the EC saying that they are going ahead to compile a new voters register, and they're saying that it's going to start on the 18th of April and end on the 30th of May. If they should decide to go ahead to compile the new voters register, I'm wondering what the smaller parties will do. Would they partake in the exercise or would they not? Frank, so let's say that the EC still goes ahead and...
So why do you think they'll go ahead? You see, I have a problem with the media when you ask me these questions.
Frank,
why are you not saying that
will the parties
decide to listen to you?
Will the parties partake
Let's not go
in
the
the
negative.
exercise
When we get
or
to
not?
the bridge, we know how to cross it. Don't worry. When we get there, we know how to cross it. Now we are exhausting our legal rights. Exactly. And we are still demonstrating. If they still go ahead and register a section of Ghanaians and satisfy their interest, so be it. When the time gets there, we will take a decision. And that is why we are all pleading to them that you cannot organize elections for just MPP in this country. We have stakeholders who are political parties who make up the Electoral Commission. Why are you not listening to them? What is their fear?
0322. What is your fear too? The parties in opposition, what is your fear as well? Are you guys scared that when the registration has to be compiled, a new one has to be compiled, you have to train, staff and pay them and expect them to work?
But all those ones have factored into the cost implications and
0322
and the stress to the average Ghanaian. Do you know we are having population census this year?
Yes, we are.
And this same year we are doing Ghana card.
Yeah.
And this same year we want us to why?
0322083596. What do you make of all that is happening? What do you make of all that is happening? And who do you think should soften his or her stand? Is it the EC or the political parties that are in opposition? Let's hear your thoughts on this very matter. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello, Dave. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name, boss?
I'm Nana Kwame.
Nana Kwame, let's hear you, sir.
Okay, there are a couple of things that I want to, make it clear.
Nana, go ahead. Nana, go ahead, please.
Okay, the first one is, I would like to ask why the EC, upon assuming office 3 years ago, did not think of did not think of, organizing itself to compile a new voter register until this, later date. And also, we Ghanaians, I think majority of Ghanaians are not in line with the decision of the EC, because I can remember that Joy FM conducted a poll on social media last week, and I think majority of Ghanaians were against the decision of the EC. So I think the EC should suspend its decision, and I think think of compiling the new voter register.
So they should think again. That is what Nana Kwame is saying. Thank you very much, Nana Kwame. I appreciate the call. Kofi Bajuniba, good afternoon.
Yeah, Bruni, how are you?
Charlie Kofi, God is blessing me. Let's hear your thoughts.
And who is God cursing? God is blessing you, but what is God doing to me?
Kofi, you asked me a question, I answered your question. Do you want to go ahead or you don't want to?
My greetings to my comrade Frank about the answer. You see, David, this letter commission, they are only called bluff, and they will back down. I tell they will back down by all means. You see, now the advisory board constituted by the Electoral Commission itself has told the Electoral Commission that take a minute, do a broader consultation. These are eminent, very eminent people, and they are advising you to do a broader consultation. And you are saying that you will not do any broader consultation. You only meet the people and tell them, you explain to them what you are going to do. It's not a matter of doing it or not doing it. So are you saying that what your advisory board told was nonsense or what? You will live to see.
That would be cool. If you want to change, why not change before this district assembly election? Test the machines and see whether it can go well or not. Within 10 months, can you register, do the testing, experiment, everything before December? This is genuine. I mean, Ghana as a whole is one constituency, and it will be dangerous going forward. Please, you should stop it. Come on. Good afternoon.
Well, thank you very much, Kalusha. Let's go to Barikese and speak to John. He's with the Ghana water company there at Barikese. John, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Dave.
I'm well, my brother. I need to hear from you as well, so go ahead.
Yeah. My question is the EC saying the Ghana card, we can't use it to vote? It's like this country, we are comparing ourselves to failures. When you go to other countries, they have only one card that can be used for so many things. But here we come to, we dialogue everything and we come to conclusion. Here's what I'm saying. Well, because I, for instance, am not prepared to go and even register. I'm not going to queue, whereby I will go through this convention and then register, waking up in the morning, all those kind of things. So they need to come back again, please. I'm done.
Well, John, thank you very much for your call. Also, I'm register. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, what's your name, sir?
Mandela.
I didn't get your name. What's your name again?
Mandela.
Mandela. Okay, Mandela, let's hear you.
Yeah. My little contribution I want to put across is that Ghana, we are a peace-loving country, though. But that doesn't mean that anybody can just take along to maybe use our hands and do anything. The consensus is what you need. The issue shouldn't go on and do the because even Ghana cars, we are suffering. Every time we feel if our old ladies, some people, they even carry them to the police to pictures. What can Ghana, then look at all these things, give Ghana cars to go on maybe next year, after election, then now we use the Ghana cars to do maybe other things. So we should stop it. We don't want it. Simple.
That was Mandela. He says they should stop it. We don't want it. George, come forward. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Go ahead, sir.
I hope you're fine.
George, I'm well.
The reason is that we don't need any new register. The one which there is very, very clear. So the opposition party who are for no register, the best thing we will do is that when the registration meeting, we are not register. We will all sit down and we will allow to vote who are for the one. They should go and get their own president. And we also gather some clapping our hands and waiting to see what is going to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, George. But nothing will happen. Peace will prevail in Ghana. Hi, Christoph. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, David Akuetteh. I trust all is well.
His grace is upon my life. Let's hear you, sir.
Come on, Dave. Is there the need for voters register as we speak? Aren't there any pertinent issues other than this? Dave, if we are saying that we want to update and validate the voters register, I mean, is it writing names again? But there are other steps that we can take. Dave, so it is biometric. As you said, those who are there, they can't come at the vote because you ought to be verified before you vote. I think in this crucial moment we are in, Dave, we should be talking about other things, not about voters register for election. So the EC should listen to the concerns of the people. And then finally, what's the NPP backing the new voters register? Why is the NDC against it? Is there something in there they're not telling us? Is it a ritual that the end of the day always goes with the EC validation of the register? Why is the opponent is always against it? So I think people are dying, our roads are bad and all that. There are things that we should be talking about and not the voter register, because there are other things you can do to validate our voters register.
Oh, thank you very much, Christoph. Mauli has been waiting on the line for some time. Mauli, good afternoon.
Dave, good afternoon.
You have the opportunity now, Mauli. Let's hear your thoughts.
Dave, let me just go straight to it. I just don't know the exact reason for what the EC wanted to do with the new voters register. I don't know what their reason is. You will tell me that, oh, okay, fine, the register is bloated with deaf people, the register is bloated, what. David, we can open the registration now, we go and register, the next day people will still die. What are you doing about them also? Are you going to take their name out again? Dave, I just don't see the need of this particular register thing we are talking about. People are complaining about even Ghana card. Dave, as I'm talking to you right now, I'm in the house, all in the name of Ghana card. I leave work to just go queue for a Ghana card. And at the end, I'm not even get my Ghana card. And I'm in the house now. And I'm going to suspension. All in the name of this particular Ghana card. And David, you are going to open nomination for what again? What? Voters register? Going to look for work for somebody's father to come and do? And I should go and queue for that? Dave, I don't think it's going to be possible. If probably they want to do a new voters register, they should take time and do it house to house. I will not go out to even go and queue to vote. At the end, to even go and queue to get a voters register. It's not even going to happen in my diary nowadays. I just don't know the essence of all these things the ACT want to do. They just want to create confusion. We are just going through this, what's the name? Even that card can make us travel outside Ghana to either Togo or Benin. People are even reluctant to do it. How much more voters register? For what? Dave.
But Charlie, Mauli, your supervisor, Charlie, is it that wicked?
David.
You suspend you just because you wanted to go to Ghana card?
David, we are
Mate, well, thank you very much. Let me speak to Bedman. Bedman is calling us from Doom.
Yeah, David, good afternoon.
Bedman, good afternoon.
I don't know if it is ignorance or lack of information in the part of some of us in Ghana. You see the kind of contribution people are sharing as you open the phone. You are saying that you need an upgrade because you cannot go and queue to go and register. But when the upgrade comes, how aren't you going to queue? Look at the kind of argument people are making. And then in second place, we don't have time to go and queue and test. But who told you it is by force? And then what the EC is saying, it's not a matter of opinion, public opinion that we come and tell us your mind. We've given the mandate to the EC to perform. And if they think the kind of register or the instrument they are using are not going to help them, they are sleeping with it and every time in their office. And if they don't go to help them, and then we are going to do a new thing. Who doesn't like a new thing? Unless we live in a state of mediocrity that we will champion the cause of. We don't want any new thing. Doing everything, whoever is involved, whoever doesn't have it will get it. Whoever has it want to change everything, and then we will all have it. And then secondly, subjecting the EC to that public opinion that do we want it or we don't want it. It is their mandate. If they think we cannot use the register to vote, and then we have to do a new one, and thank God they said even repairing the old one is cost more than doing a new one. And then who doesn't like a new one which is cheaper, which is more cheaper?
I hear you, bad man.
People have been going to China for goods because of what? Because it is cheaper, and then why don't we go to the US? You see, because the thing is new, and then it is cheaper, and you are telling me you cannot go and queue. If the time comes and you think you don't have time.
But thank you very much, Bedman. But you heard somebody who said he went to queue for a Ghana card, and at the end of the day, he was suspended. Well, Prince, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, boss. Let's hear you.
I want to say something. Hello.
Prince, please go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah, it's about this new voters register. You see, EC, they are the hem of affairs, and they know what is wrong with the existing one. They are saying that they need to generate new one based on faulty machines and that kind of thing. So I think we should give them go ahead to do it. Because if anything goes bad during the elections, they'll be held accountable.
That's true.
So I think we should allow them, because they know. Because it's like if Mount jumps out of the hole, it knows what was after it. So I think we should allow them to, and then give them the support to go ahead and then do the new voters register. This is different from the national identification card. For this one, it's instant. You are there. They take your data, and then they give you the card. You don't need to go back and be clear. Not even knowing when the card is ready for you to go for it. So I think you should give them all the needed support, and then let them do what they think will be right for the nation.
I hear you. And that was Prince. Let me speak to Kwame. Good afternoon, Kwame.
Hello, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Kwame.
And thank you for the video you're doing for Ghana. Well, I have a question. And my question is, what kind of system are you using as a country? Dave, you know why I'm asking this question?
No, you tell me.
Last year, my dad passed on. I went to birth and death and process death certificate. So, under normal circumstances, the name should be deleted right away from the voters register because the man is no more alive. But I don't know the kind of system we are using in this country. One of the reasons why they are going to compile a new voter register is because some people might have passed on and they have to delete their names and all that. So the data at birth and death registry, what was it there for? You can't get concrete data for a country to move forward. And you're always spending money anyhow. Look at the Putuji association we talked about it yesterday. The Boku Estate road that you talked about it. And you're going to pump so much money into this thing if it is not going to help us. Let's put it aside and do away with our political differences. Other than that, the nation cannot move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kwame, for the call. Claude, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
It's Claude, you're on radio. This is Love FM. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my point is, I believe that the president did not win the election by that margin of that 1 million plus. That is why they are afraid to, that they'll be exposed. That is why they want to bring this new machine. So if you believe that he won by that margin, I don't think that he will try to bring a new listing machine again. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Claude. And that ends our phoning section, bringing the time to 18 minutes past 3. So, Frank, let's wrap up our conversation. A lot has been said.
Yes.
And the EC, as it stands now, doesn't seem to listen.
No, Dave. That's where I have a problem with you. You do.
Let me hold
this
on.
afternoon.
Hold on.
You go.
I'll go.
Frank,
hold on.
The EC
hold on for me.
Is bound to listen
as we speak now.
Yes, and they still have the opportunity to listen and come back to us.
What is going to happen on the 18th of April?
I don't know.
They say they're going to compile a new voters register.
Really?
That is what I know.
Well, we don't know.
They say it's going to.
And we feel that we are all stakeholders. And do you think the EC can go ahead without notifying political parties what it intends doing?
Okay, let me ask you one last question, and then I'll ask you.
Is it coming to the public and put it in the dailies? What if the party don't buy?
And just as you said, some people have been saying there will be chaos, there will be that kind of. But I entreat.
No, we are law abiding.
I know, and you have to be law abiding. So I'm only saying that even for those that they have been saying that they would not be registering, I would only entreat them and plead with them that it's their civic responsibility to register and vote and choose who lead and governs this country. And one of the processes to do that is for us to help the Electoral Commission compile a voters register that is credible, that is accurate, and that is fit for purpose for us to have an election that is reliable to deliver a good leader for this country.
For me,
which obviously will be.
My last words for the afternoon will be this. For this very segment will be this. I'm a Ghanaian.
Yes.
And I love my country, Ghana.
Yes.
I enjoy the peace that I have.
Yes.
That I can go home at any point in time, leave home at any point in time, because sometimes you leave home around 3 a.m. and you're coming to work.
Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah.
And yet you're able to come to work peacefully and do your work and go back home. I want to continue to enjoy my country. So for those of you who, think that, well, you're politicians and you have your own vested interests, and for the EC who has the mandate to conduct or compile voters register and all that, whatever it is you guys do, have at the back of your mind that we have only one Ghana.
Yes, Ghana first.
And we should put Ghana first.
Yes.
For those of you who are also clergymen, the pastors and all, let's keep praying for Mother Ghana so peace will prevail. At least I am happy that I've heard from the Peace Christian Council this week.
Yes.
I don't think I've heard from the Peace Council, have I? This week, Dr. Himana Asante. I think he's spoken this week. Cordeo has, the Eminent Advisory Committee has, the CSOs have, and Jala, what else are we waiting for? There's nothing that a discussion cannot resolve. I pray that you guys will be able to resolve this matter, and for us to have
the EC must listen.
Well, thank you very much, Frank Abaji Dinyansa. He's a public interest advocate, but was part of the demonstration that took place on Tuesday. And of course, you, Akwesi Kunedu, I'm grateful for your time. He intends to unseat somebody at. Should I go ahead?
Oh yes, you know already.
Thank you very much for coming through.
That was good for you.
And of course, we have another conversation coming up your way in a bit. It's going to center on the health walk, that is the Love FM Fitness Walk on the 1st of February. James Himmons and co will be joining me in a bit right after these messages. Please don't go away.
Walk. Love Fitness Walk. Love Fitness Walk. The start of a new decade.
Please. Those are in the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please. Let's ready the script. 90 seconds to walk out the whole going. The ones that are in the t-shirt, can you please wait? Let's ready with the script. Please. And then let's finish with the script so that we take it. The ones that are in the t-shirt, can you please wait? Let's ready with the script. Please. And then let's finish with the script so that we take it.
It's a
Please. Those are the teacher. Kindly wait, please. Let's read the script. Can we say it was the whole boy? Wow. The ones that read the teacher, can you please wait? Let's read the script. Please. And then let's read the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1. Please. Those are the teacher. Kindly wait, please. Let's read the script. Can we say it was the whole boy? Wow. The ones that read the teacher, can you please wait? Let's read the script. Please. And then let's read the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1. Please. Those are the teacher. Kindly wait, please. Let's read the script. Can we say it was the whole boy? Wow. The ones that read the teacher, can you please wait? Let's read the script. Please. And then let's read the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1. Those are the teacher. Kindly wait, please. Let's read the script. Can we say it was the whole boy? Wow. 1. The ones that read the teacher, can you please wait? Let's read the script. Please. And then let's read the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1. Those are the teacher. Kindly wait, please. Let's read the script. Can we say it was the whole boy? Wow. The ones that read the teacher, can you please wait? Let's read the script. Please. And then let's read the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1. Those are the teacher. Kindly wait, please. Let's read the script. Can we say it was the whole boy? Wow. 1. The ones that read the teacher, can you please wait? Let's read the script. Please. And then let's read the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1. Those are the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please. Please, let's read with the script. Kindly share it to us throughout the whole story. The ones that read the t-shirt, kindly please wait. Let's read with the script. Let's read with the script, please. Kindly let's read with the script so that we take it. Oh, 1, 2, 1, 2. Please. Those are the t-shirt. Kindly wait, please. Please, let's read with the script. Kindly share it to us throughout the whole story.
Shouting. It was wonderful. So we met them. Fruitful discussions. They're more than happy joining this, and trust me, on the day, and I'm looking forward to that day. They're going to splash us with lots of prizes, lots of souvenirs. The entire team from Accra, everywhere, they are coming. We want to be part of that transition from Barclays to ABSA. It will be a wonderful work, and we're coming representing red. I mean, coincidentally, their colors red, Love FM's colors red, and I know red is going to rain on a day. So come in your red, support us, and it will be awesome. We're working. Trust me, we are working.
All right. So again, we had a conversation on Wednesday, and some people were asking that we said there's going to be some screening. They wanted to know from me what specific screening will be done, and I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to ask James to tell us about it. So, what kind of screening will be done?
So they will do the general, the sugar, blood. They will do the body mass index. They will do eye. I know they'll
and these are all for free.
And these are all for free.
Is it before the walk or after the walk?
So we do it after the walk.
After the walk.
Before the walk, we have a limited time to even gather and move. So we usually push all these to the end of the walk. And so, yes, all these are going to come up after the walk. And trust me, the team is more than ready to attend to anyone who comes with any need with regards to screening and all that. So that is going to be done. And a lot of refreshment, like I mentioned, lots of things. I am so excited about this one because it seems the fever is there. I mean, you move through town and people are talking about it. I don't know whether the song is doing magic, but everyone is talking about it. The number of people throwing challenge. I know. I mean, ABSA had done their version of the song.
Okay.
It will be played on radio very soon.
Okay.
If you can also, I mean, next week you're going to have a challenge. Sing it. If you get it right, you're winning some souvenirs from ABSA.
Okay, not necessarily getting it right. If you can do better.
Yes, maybe you can even add on.
Maybe you add your name there somewhere. You add your company name somewhere.
A first name somewhere.
Yeah, you know.
That will be good. So from Monday, start putting your head things together.
So do your rehearsals over the weekend.
Rehearse. Not Monday will be.
But James, so when you went to Barclays, aside from the fact that they themselves, are happy that they are migrating or moving on to become ABSA and all that, how prepared are they for the fitness walk come Saturday next week?
They are more than ready. More than ready. Today I met almost every branch manager.
Wow.
So it tells you how ready they are. In fact, if I won't call it a mere conversation, if a meeting of this sort could bring all these guys together, then it tells you that the very event itself will draw more than the people I saw today. So they've really placed so much pressure on this. They feel they have to be part of this. Apart from the fact that they are partnering us to do this, they believe it is an avenue for them to work with their customers, work with as staff, and work with friends. So they are more than ready. All branch managers come in, all staff members come in, and know it's going to be a very wonderful walk, historic one, of course.
All right, so we've been saying this for some time now, and I'm sure that in the coming days we shall be sharing some more information, with our listeners out there. But it's a simple thing. You just get up on a Saturday morning, like for example the 1st of February, wear something you're comfortable in, not shoes or sandals or something, sneakers or canvas, like. Wear something loose and then just come to the Kumasi City Mall as early as 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
And then we get to do some aerobics. And then when we're done with the aerobics, we hit the streets and then we start walking.
We've tweaked the route a little.
Okay.
And I'm going to do that. I'm going to explain. Touch more on that next week.
Have you added on or you?
We've not. I think it's still the same. It's still the same, but we had a certain route. We just want to meander a little through the town. Don't worry, we're going to. Brother, you became coast.
Don't let the cat out of the bag. I love playing lawn tennis. I love swimming.
Okay.
Those are the things that I do to stay healthy.
Hallelujah.
But walking in a group, as happens when the fitness walk is on, is always a beautiful thing, and I would not miss it for anything, unless of course maybe I'm bedridden or dead or something.
We'll come and carry
Once I have life, once I have life, I will walk.
We are walking
because there's everything to walk for.
Yes.
Your health.
Yes.
And then people will show you things
in front of you and the back
and
behind you and the side.
They're shaking and waving
everything.
If you're fasting, forget it, don't come because you see things. And then aside from that, you get to network.
Of course.
And so if you're into some kind of business, other people are into businesses, you share ideas. Yeah. You make new friends. It's beautiful. I feel sad for Kelvin Uswansa.
Every time you are still in a style.
Oh,
yes, you see, no problem.
Kelvin, do you know what you're missing? Because you're always in the studios. Do you know what you're missing?
Yeah, I know I'll be missing a lot with health-wise.